Welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast. I am one of your hosts today, Shadow, and I'm joined by Bharos. That's it. It's our date day. It's also a special episode because I finally started playing this dogshit game again.
It's like cocaine.
It's like this. The story goes, I installed the game because last gen Lasagna was coming out last week, so that I could start gathering some lapis to pull. And then I went on Discord, to talk with my friends, and they're all cocaine addicts. And I was only like, hey, I'm only here to hang around for a few minutes just to catch up with you guys. And then I started doing cocaine again.
So serious question, Shadow. What is worse, doing cocaine or spending serious money in a gacha game?
Ooh, okay.
I mean, cocaine. Let's say you don't get caught because you're smart enough to not get caught having cocaine, right? So we move the illegal part of it, right? What's worse?
Probably the gacha game, right?
I don't know. Cocaine is pretty bad too. Just not gonna lie.
I mean, cocaine. There's a socially people understand, but like gacha game, they'll look at you weird. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that is true. Like on the bus, you say you snort cocaine, people will be like, "Oh yeah, poor guy," withdrawal and shit. You say you spend money on gacha, they'll be like, "Oh my god, he is."
Yeah, what the fuck is this degen?
All right, so okay. So today we only have 3 units. We have no new trials. We have nothing. We just have 3 new units.
And that's why it's just the 2 of us.
Yes, we can favor 1 unit each, maybe. Although we're gonna have to fight for favoring the good unit. But there are 3 units, although only 2 are in game, right?
Well, 2 are in game as of this recording, right?
Yeah, as of this recording. Actually, when you listeners listen to this, you will have all 3 units available in the game. So Shadow, how about we kick it off with the worst unit, Infernal Fire Rain?
Yeah, Infernal Fire Rain. What can I say about him? He's trash. He does.
I mean,
like he I don't know what to say about this guy. He has 186 billion damage, DPT, which puts him at around, Dark Veritas Kyrie levels. He's worse than Furion. Let's put it that way.
But he did get this weird transformation in his Brave Shift, right? Because he becomes an evoke damage dealer, which is interesting because his evoke damage is, so it's still nothing amazing, but it's kind of like on par with Aerith or Grimlord Sakura. So you're kind of looking at your standard NVA mage, but an evoke mage. And needless to say, you can get those numbers up a bit through wailing him the fuck out. And of course you're gonna get the numbers up, right? But the thing is, his burst isn't high enough to warrant it for content like DV. So I guess you could get it up for, some type of or where killers wouldn't matter. Although, like, again, when I say he does 180, meaning he's the same as Aerith, that's without killers, right? So Aerith is probably going to come out on top.
Yeah, and the other, the weird thing about Aelim is that they always have a fascination of turning traditional physical damage dealers into evokers or mages when they become NVA. Infernal Rain is just one of those.
But just saying also, it makes sense here, because this is an Esper unit, okay? So there is some lore backing this shit up, right? I mean, kind of, right? I mean, Ifrit is literally, blowing him.
I don't think that's the intention of the lore, but you could, I guess.
And his LB sprite or BS sprite is pretty sweet.
Yeah, but like the opportunity cost question comes into play when we talk about Infernal Rain, because Infernal Fire Rain has a really sweet STMR, especially if you're into dark visions. So do you want that second STMR, or would you want a subpar evoker? Like, that's the question you really have to ask yourself when
no, you're not wrong. Like, you'd probably want to kind of just hoard all of your Infernal Fire Rains 100%. I mean, there's literally no point of his BS, because again, if you divide his numbers by, let's say, 2, okay, let's be generous, let's say we just divide it by 2, it means that he does 90 billion DPT, and that is atrocious. Like that's like, then Yoshi's gonna do more damage. So yeah, you're right. Actually, listeners, just don't EX1 this unit. Keep your other reigns so that you actually can get a nice Infernal Battle Garb number 2.
Yeah, I mean, do we get enough shards for people to even awaken? I guess we might.
No, you'll probably have to buy with Lapis or with VIP points.
Yeah. He's really nothing like special. He's just an evoker that does significant amount of fire damage, and being an evoker that's worse than the existing evokers already sucks. But yeah, like there's really nothing to add here.
I mean, if you want to be an evoker, you need to do Terra levels of damage. He doesn't even come close, so I guess he's fucked. That's literally the takeaway. And in his base form, he really didn't gain anything.
No, he literally didn't gain anything. Yeah.
No, he just gained 2 passives, and that's it. He got some more LB damage. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I'm wrong. He actually did get an LB upgrade, it seems.
Whoop-de-doo.
Although I don't see what I don't see what happened though, because it seems identical to his base one. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can't see the difference either. I was looking at the kit earlier, so I
feel
never
like
mind.
It's
only the 2 passives.
So I think the best wisdom here is to listen to Shadow and just do not EX1 this unit. Do not even NV it unless you're, I don't know, a collector of NV units. Just wait for your second Infernal Battle Garb. That's better.
Yeah, his STMR is timeless. Is probably the best thing we could say about this guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very strong. So just like be happy for every extra rain you get because you're closer to a great STMR. That's about it. All right. So that was absolutely terrible.
It was, but the next unit's kind of better because it's a free unit that everyone's going to get, and it's better than Rain.
So if you log in, if you log in during February, you're going to get Charlotte and Physalis.
Mm-hmm.
And we've mentioned her before on the podcast. We've said that she is a free tag chainer, and that alone is pretty cool. So let's talk a bit about the unit. Shadow, do you want to start? Should I start? How do you want to do this? Do you want to be on bottom, I'm on top, or
You can go first.
It's good. I enjoy being the. So wait, going first, is that being the bottom or the top?
You decide on that. We don't have to talk. We don't have to talk that out. You can decide that on yourself.
All right. So I'm going first. So first thing to mention about Charlotte and Physalis is that as a tag chainer, you need to get into her BS, right? Because let's talk about that first. If you want to use her for tag chaining. And again, just to remind our listeners, maybe you didn't miss our previous episode, or like we've talked about tag chains for, I think, 5 episodes now, but still, tag chains is simply a chain from a single unit that doesn't break, meaning that the unit kind of chains with itself. And Charlotte and Physalis have a normal tag chain in their BS form, so non-cooldown, non-Grandis. They have a Grandis one too. Mm-hmm. If you gear her for damage, she's gonna turn out to do something around I think top 10 or I think she's even, or they are even on 7th place right now on the wiki. That is pretty strong. So they're going to be a very strong physical chainer for all new players. This is a godsend for anyone that just logged into the game. I think they burst pretty hard too, around not quite Tifa levels but close. So yeah, fantastic pickup for new players. Maybe not so much for veterans, although it kind of also depends on how much luck you've had in pulling the latest NVs, I guess. So there's that. Other than the tag chains, there's not much interesting in the Brave Shift form. Well, other than, of course, considerable LB damage buff that you don't want to use in the BS form. The BS form LB is a tag LB as well. So given that it's a tag, Shadow, do you know this? So it's a tag LB. It has the exact same amount of hits as Lasswell and Raegen's base form LB. Do they? I'm guessing they have the same frames, right? Because it's a tag LB, I guess.
I'm not really sure. I haven't checked the frames on this. Maybe I should.
I mean, I heard someone say that all tag skills have the same chain or have the same chain family, and I think Muspel said it seems like it's DR, but and that's true for their normal tag chains. But I'm just wondering if it's the same for the LB. So it's a 27 hit LB. That would be interesting because, I mean, obviously it's a tag chain, so it chains on its own, but it's nice to know if it could also chain with, Lasswell or Reyna's LBs, tag LBs.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the strength of the kit, right? She has tag chains, which allows you to, I guess, one more slot for more DPS. But the
Yeah.
fact is, in her base form, she has 75% offensive breaks and 40% gen mid, 40% physical and magical mitigation.
Yeah.
So
Which is very nice.
yeah, that's a really nice. I think it's. I feel like at a certain point, Aelin finally realized what to do with dual units, and we're finally realizing that is that on her base form, she's a defensive tank slash support. On her brave shift, they're I guess DPS units, kind of tag chainers. So there is that realization with dual units going on, but you know, it's a free unit, and considering it's a free unit, it's actually pretty amazing because the Grandis is actually pretty cool. I think
I agree.
60% gen mid with a 5k HP barrier. I'll take that from a
Absolutely.
free unit. Yeah.
And the thing is, it's so very well built because her cooldown to normal is 1 turn, her cooldown to brave shift is 2 turns. So it actually works really well because you start in base form and then you buff your team with, because she has so long durations, this works. So you buff your team with mitigations. You break the boss. 75% is on the low end, but it might work out if you have a really strong tank. Or if you can just immune the damage. Well, if you immune the damage, you don't need breaks, so I don't know what I'm saying. But if you have a strong tank, so what you do is you break, you buff, you brave shift, and then you tag chain for your finisher. And this works extremely well if you have a finisher that has some type of frequency, like let's say Terra or Tifa, or, well, almost any finisher will really have. You very rarely have finishers that burst every turn. Or even, of course, Lasswell and Raegen, we're going to talk about soon. And she actually, enables you to bring 2 Lasswell and Raegens and use them solely as finishers. And oh my, that is going to do some serious damage. So this unit is definitely worth picking up, as it does a lot in a single slot. She does also have an Imbue in Peril, worth mentioning, and it actually is 100% uptime on it as well, because it's a 4-turn cooldown with a 4-turn light resistance and light imbue. So
Yeah,
very nice.
That's again for your DV clears out there.
Oh shit, but oh my god, no. See, this is why we need Dream, because if Dream was here, he would have caught me on this mistake. Now I had to catch myself on my mistakes, and I hate catching myself on my mistakes, but it's obviously not AoE, so it's actually only for herself. So that sucks. Sorry listeners, I am not paying attention.
Well, it could. I was assuming that you were thinking of Zon, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really. I saw it and I was like, oh wow, this is AoE, but it isn't. So yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna pick this unit up. If you log into February, you're gonna get her. But what you need to do is you need to do the quests that are releasing on different dates. We're getting one quest on Monday, and then I think one drops on Wednesday, if I'm not wrong. And it's in the normal quest menu, so you need to go into your quest menu and do these quests in order to get the awakening materials for her, because if I understand everything correctly, we're getting her awakening for free.
Yes.
So we're gonna get everything for free, which is amazing. I think it's, I am surprised about this generosity. I think Charlotte and Physalis are such a breath of fresh air. This strong supportive kit, strongish supportive kit, that also is a tag chainer for these frequency-based finishers. Wow, I think this is a fantastic pickup.
Yeah, I agree. Aelin probably at one point wanted to be generous for at one point, so here we are.
Yeah, or they probably felt that maybe this tag chaining mechanic is just too powerful to release on just a few units that are hard to obtain, right? So maybe it's kind of like this, hey, everyone should have access to a tag chainer, which I really support. I really support that. And I also want to say that we talk a lot about DPT, we talk a lot about damage comparisons, but you need to keep in mind that many of the units right now, and especially going forward, are always going to be stronger as finishers. So they're always going to do more damage if you just, buff their LB and just slam their LB down or something like that.
Yep.
Meaning that this type of unit can be really good for the trials where you can use her. Of course, for more difficult trials, it might be difficult slotting her in, but you still could. So pretty cool. I can't wait to try her for a couple of trials and just using 2 finishers.
One of the benefits of Charlotte and Physalis is that if you're a beginner that has, or not rather a beginner, but like if your NV roster isn't as large as some of the other vets or whales, she can still be subbed in for a lot of different support / chaining roles. So the fact that if you're a beginner or your roster isn't fully fleshed out, Charlotte and Physalis can change your pulling plans where you don't have to pull for certain things and save for other missing parts in your roster. So I feel like This is one of those things that everyone should just pick up in EX plus 1 at least right away.
That is 100% true. That is 100% true. And just to mention, if you use her tag LB, so you're actually going to get pretty decent damage. You're going to end up at maybe 300, 400 billion burst on her own, which is, it's not amazing. It's like half of Tifa's, right?
Her burst is right now 588 billion at turn.
Yeah, but but that's the base form LB. That's the base form LB.
That's a finisher.
Yeah, but when you tag chain. So if you use her to tag chain, she's actually going to contribute some damage because the tag chain LB is going to do around 300 billion on its own, while, obviously tag chaining for your finisher. I mean, half of Tifa's burst is still decent, right?
If you're using her as a tag chainer, you wouldn't be looking for bursts by that point anyways. You're just looking to increase the chain numbers. But
but it's nice. It's still a half of Tifa while she's enabling your chainer. It's still good. I just don't know if this unit has any LB fill though, because that feels like pretty important if you want to consistently tag chain. I mean, if you want to use her LB, obviously you can just tag chain in her Brave Shift form with her normal abilities. But
pretty sure she passively doesn't have LB fill, so you might need to gear for that if you want to continue doing so.
There's no active ability, so meaning that you're gonna so it is a 40 crystal LB, meaning that you're gonna have to fill it obviously, but when you do, she's actually gonna do damage with it. So it's not gonna be super realistic using that, since she doesn't really have a consistent way of filling.
TLDR basically here is that if you get her, you try. Get her up to EX plus 1 so you can Brave Shift and use her if you want to. The other point is that she's better than Ifrit Rain by a large margin. So
absolutely in every way, really.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah. Well, it's a nice unit. Yeah. Hey, I just want to mention something. I also think her sprite is cool. Obviously, this is a waifu tag team, right?
Her Brave Shift is hilarious. I love it.
Yeah. And we're also getting to see Charlotte in a bit more offensive role. And I really think that is cool too, this is a
Why does Charlotte lose clothes in the Brave Shift? It looks like she takes off part of her armor in the Brave Shift.
Bro, it's so logical. I cannot believe you're this stupid. Obviously, she needs to take off some of that bulky armor to move fast when she's doing damage. Come on. That is obviously what's going on. I am a bit surprised that they are actually not switching positions, which they often do when we switch between sprites, because actually Charlotte is in front in both the base and the Brave Shift sprite. But it's cool. It's a good looking sprite. It's nice to see Charlotte doing some damage. Obviously, a lot of people like Charlotte as well. She's a very popular unit in FFBE, so it's cool. It's gonna be very nice pickup. I'm gonna be very happy.
I have a different name for this duo. It's called the Lasswell's Reject Duo. They've both been rejected by Lasswell because he wants.
Have they been rejected? I mean, okay. We of course we know he wants Rain on the inside, but it kind of feels like story-wise he has this thing going on with Physalis, right?
I guess. I mean, yeah, Charlotte is definitely that childhood friend trope where they've known each other for quite a bit, and then Physalis is the new girl. So
yeah,
I mean, I think Charlotte is the best girl in the game. Hands down.
Yeah, I know you think so. Yeah, I mean, and I love Charlotte as well. I think her aesthetics are really cool. A female tank is fucking amazing in general, and I've used Charlotte so much in this game. So absolutely, I hear where you're coming from. But you are right. These are both love interests for Lasswell. So this is kind of a awkward unit to put into a Lasswell comp, right? For Lasswell, that is.
Well, speaking of Lasswell, and his daddy are in a role
technically,
together.
This is the unit where Rain calls both of them daddy. Am I right?
Oh my god.
No? Okay. Never mind.
So Lasswell and Raegen are, if you want to use them as a DPS,
Raegen.
you definitely...
Jesus.
Raegen are LB finishers, and they do big dick damage. They really do big dick damage.
I mean, insane fucking damage. They are our strongest finisher.
Bar Terra.
Yeah, well, no. Bar Edgar, right? Edgar is gonna burst harder. I think. I mean, it also depends on your gear and how well you can gear both I think they're going to be on par. I might be wrong when it comes to heavy STMR whale builds. Maybe Lasswell Raegen take off a bit, although Dragoons are notorious for being, super strong when whaled out too.
Scalable. Dragoons always scale ridiculously with STMRs.
They are more or less equal. Lasswell and Raegen can, of course, burst quite fucking hard and quite often as well, as long as you can fill their LB. And it's not a meme, turns out. Sinzar tells us that, bursting often with their LB is kind of what you want to do. And this is how you build units in the future in JP2. So that's very interesting. And so even if you're only bursting once every fourth turn with this unit, so once every fourth turn, you're just bursting with the LB. Other turns, you're just chaining. This unit is still our strongest physical chainer to date.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. It does require you to cap once. So chain for them 1 out of 4 turns. But if you do, you're going to get some amazing damage. And if you can do it more than once every 4 turns, well, then we're talking damage.
See, the thing about Rain and Lasswell and Raegen is that the fact that they're also tag chainers adds a bit of additional utility other than the fact that they're doing big dick bursts.
It's a bit weird though, because they are the unit that needs the tag chains because they are the big dick bursters, right? So, yeah, I mean, who are they tag chaining for, right?
So it does become like a question, if you're using Lasswell and Raegen as tag chainers, who the fuck is finishing for you? So I
guess it's Edgar then.
Oh, Edgar. Okay, I guess Edgar kind of works. But they also have a lot of dragon killers, which will become very, very useful in the future, near future. I mean,
obviously they are made for the Bahamut trial incoming, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing, and we mentioned this in the last episode because it's true for the Reina unit as well. But Lasagna, and I just want to say Lasagna. I read this on Reddit. Some dude called this unit Lasagna. It's the most brilliant thing I've ever read. So I'm gonna try to call them Lasagna as often as I remember. Anyway, Lasagna does have the same thing as Reina, which is the 70% increased damage against broken enemies. Now, 70%, that is fucking huge, meaning that this unit will be insane for any trial that has a break bar. And of course, the new Bahamut trial is obviously a break bar trial, so they are kind of must for it.
Yeah, they'll probably trivialize it to a certain degree. You're not expecting them to chain. You're probably expecting them to LB finish on their Brave Shift form.
Yeah.
But, again, this is an amazing unit for all intents and purposes. It's probably our next big power creep since Terra. And until we get possibly... I want to say... What will be the next big power creep after this? It'll be for a while yet, so... It's a good.
Well, I am no expert on JP, but I know a lot of people lost their dicks over the new Lightning that's coming because she's doing some fucking crazy stuff while being an evade physical tank, also doing stupid amounts of damage, like 5k attack and shit. But I don't think she actually bursts harder than these dudes though. These dudes together, they burst really hard. Imagine.
Yeah.
Raegen and Lasswell bursting so hard on you, Shadow.
I don't have to imagine. I have it. So if we're talking about a bit of the future, Lightning does have a niche. Her niche is very different from what Lasswell and Raegen do. So it's they're kind of different. I wouldn't say they're a straight up power creep. It's more I don't know, maybe a slight upgrade. I don't know how to put it.
I mean, I don't know at all because I don't know JP to that detail. But I do know that just the other day, Sinzar was doing JP DV and showing how Lasswell and Raegen are still kind of top bursting. So this is also a unit that seems to be lasting for a while.
Yeah, until Luna Freya comes, they'll probably be used in many different
trials. Luna Freya just came out. Yeah, and she's just Terra 2.0.
Yeah, she just shits on everything. So.
Yeah, she just shits on.
There is longevity to the unit. But if Muspel was here, he'd be it's another physical unit. So I'm just going to be Muspel for his.
No, Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? Muspel pulled for this. He was on the clock. When the clock turned midnight or whenever the fuck this is available in his time zone, he dumped all of his lapis and money into getting this unit. Are you kidding me? This is such a meta unit. You think Muspel doesn't have it? Oh my god. He has 5 copies.
He'll probably downplay it. so I'm gonna downplay it too.
I don't think you should downplay it though. This is an amazing unit. If you have been hoarding your lapis for a while, looking for a unit, this is actually a unit that lasts a long while. Especially if you can enable the LB fill gameplay. Because so let's just put it out there. So if you're kind of using this unit to just be a capper, right, or a finisher, what you probably want to do is you want to use his chain in base form that fills LB by 5, and then gear quite generously for LB fill in base. I mean, obviously you still want some attack because you still want to do some damage in base as well. And then as soon as you fill your LB, you switch to Brave Shift, and he can do this on his own, right? He can do this on his own, and then you can burst about every third turn. That's about the frequency you're gonna get out every second if you're a bit lucky with drops. You're gonna have to be very lucky every third turn, and but if you can get that up to like every second turn through some external LB fill, then I mean this is a beast of a unit. It's gonna do so much damage. It's stupid.
Regarding the gearing, he caps attack, he caps TTW relatively quickly. And he caps killers if you're doing it against bugs or dragons. I think. I don't know about bugs. So the fact that he caps those important things quickly, there's a lot of room for LB damage materia or other killer materia, or even LB fill materia if you really need to. There is wiggle room.
But there is a physical ceiling, right? Because his cooldown to Brave Shift is 2 turns. So meaning that if you're doing the self LB fill dance, what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be bursting every third turn. That's as often as you can do it, right? You can't do it more often. But like the actual power, is in staying in Brave Shift and just getting someone to fill those 46 LB crysts for you.
Yeah,
but again,
that's the big brain with it.
But if you can somehow fucking pull it off and fill 46 LB crysts every second turn, this unit is going to shit on everything it looks at.
The big brain methods.
I think we should also talk a bit about the TMR and STMR. So the TMR is decent, or it can be very, very strong if you're using a sword and a katana, because then you're like what?
Capping attack immediately, probably.
Yeah, because it's like 80 plus, so it's 110% attack if you're wearing a sword and a katana while wearing the TMR. And if you're just wearing one of those, it's still 70% attack, which is on par with some of the older STMRs for attack. So it's good. I mean, it's really good.
Delita's STMR is crying in the corner.
Yeah, fuck Delita and everything about him. And I'm so happy Hazard isn't here. Although I'm not sure. Like, do you think Hazard likes Delita?
I think he does. He likes Delita more than Ramza.
Yeah, but he's such a huge dick in the game. I mean, I get it. His sister was murdered in front of his eyes. That's incredibly unfair. But he shouldn't turn into a dick because of it. He should, exact vengeance, but not be a dick about it. Anyway, STMR is a bit meh. I was a bit surprised. I was kind of like, when I pulled this, I shittered this unit incredibly hard. Like, I just said, I'm going to do a 10 pull, see what happens. I got him. And then I was immediately like, okay, should I go for the STMR? Should I go for EX plus 2 immediately? And then I looked at the STMR and I was like, I probably won't. I mean, it's a sword with 192 attack, 75% dragon killer, and 25% LB damage. So if it's a dragon, then yeah, sure, this is probably best in slot, right? For like any TDW unit. But if it's not a dragon...
Let's think about the other swords.
It's kind of like AC Cloud's STMR.
Yeah, but let's think about the other swords. Like, that's not named the DV sword, right? Like, it has probably a relatively high attack compared to those swords. And actually, it has the highest attack if we take out Dark Ragnarok. So it has the highest attack. It has LB damage.
It does. It's
75% killer. So I feel like that's a good combination. But it's 25%
LB damage. Yeah, but it's so shitty to gear for. Come on, 25%. Like, that's giving me OCD. Holy shit.
It sounds like a you problem.
Like, how? Oh my god, it's so stupid. I mean, and if you're looking at it that way, you're probably going to see that like 11 STMR, maybe even Noctis STMR, CG Noctis, or obviously AC Cloud STMR are going to outperform it because you're gearing for LB. So I ran a couple of builds just before this podcast just to see how often it would get chosen. And it didn't get chosen a lot. Like, obviously got chosen if it's a dragon enemy. But otherwise, so yeah, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
And then we have the Vision card.
Most situation will probably have War Hero Rockin's STMR or maybe even Onion Knight's STMR. And then Onion Knight's STMR is probably for defensive things anyways. So it's probably Rockin's STMR that you really want if you're going for a sword. Otherwise,
I mean, it kind of depends on your gearing, but the builder often threw out a double LB weapon build for me when I was building for different races. So I often got like 11 STMR and AC Cloud STMR as a combo because it made other gearing easy, and then you can slot in a ton of killers instead of LB materia as well, you know. So it's I don't think it's gonna see that much use, or obviously on Dragon Trials, right? But I've said that 50 times now, so I think people get it.
Oh yeah, I feel like if you repeat it again, people won't forget. So
so for Dragon Trials, it's probably gonna be pretty decent, right?
Yeah, you want to talk about the Vision card?
I do want to talk about the Vision card. So this is a very ugly Vision card, and I'm sad about that because I actually adore Vision cards. They look amazing, but I don't even know what the fuck is going on in this Vision card. It's like, I don't know, it's Raegen handing a banner to Lasswell, who's handing it to Citra, who's handing it to some nameless dude in a helmet. And that's it. Like, I don't know. It's not cute. It's just dumb. But the stats on it are not dumb. They're okay. It's 200 flat HP, 90% base attack, and 90%, what am I saying? 90 base attack. So a bit lower than what we're used to, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a 100 attack card, but the fact that it has 50% TDW, kind of cool.
Yes, which is kind of going to save... I heard someone in the Discord say something incredibly smart. Also, by the way, you know, our Discord is an excellent place. If you're an FFBE fan, you're going to get a lot of help and tips. I need to plug the Discord, so please join us. But on the Discord, I heard someone saying that this card is going to be amazing for Edgar because Dragoons often struggle with capping TDW because they want to gear for TDW. So 50 from a card is very nice. Unfortunately, 50 from a card is not going to be what Lasswell wants, though. Lasswell and Raegen probably want, or Lasagna, probably want something else. They probably want like Riku's card or anything that's really just higher than 90 flat attack because they can cap TDW easily anyway.
The only thing that I would add to that card is it might be a bit disappointing, but at the same time, the level 10 isn't restricted. Like, you know how all the other Vision cards, or most of Vision cards, have level 10 restrictions to FF7 units or Kingdom Hearts units. But Lasagna's card is actually universal, so if you do level 10 it, that's extra 20% HP for literally anyone that equips it. I feel like that might be a decent trade-off depending on what kind of trial you're taking on.
You know, you're not wrong. I mean, if you're, like, obviously your tank is not going to be wearing this if they have, let's say, access to Gabrant's STMR or Phases. Oh, sorry, Gabrant's VC or Phases VC. But if there's another unit that actually needs a bit of bulk for some reason, this is actually, I mean, decent. I mean, 200 base HP and 20% HP on the card. It's at least something.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a mixed bag. It's not completely terrible because it's not 100 attack. Like, it's definitely the mid-range. You still want 100 attack or 110 attack from Riku. But at the same time, because there is a bit of flexibility for other units to take this and use it, it's like a jack of all trades but a master of nothing. Is probably where I'll put it.
Also, just imagine if Riku's VC LB damage wasn't, you know, Kingdom Hearts 3 only. That would be so broken.
Yeah, but that's why we don't get it, so...
Yeah, I know, but I just like to think about it.
This is an aside to it. Like, in Vision cards in general, we know we all value the attack, but the fact of the matter is that this Vision card has 50% TDW, which isn't relevant to Lasagna, but it's relevant to a lot of other units that probably want the extra TDW from the Vision card so they can equip killers or LB damage.
No, that's 100% true. Especially for DV gearing, right? If you only have like 2 Ravenhearts or some shit and you need more TDW and you don't have Hermes sandals for some weird reason.
Exactly. Then, that's why it's more value than all the 100%, you know, attack with katana equip, 100% attack with like fist equip, because you can cap attack really easily. But relatively, it's hard to cap TDW because they're restricted to STMRs most of the time.
But you know what I've picked up? Or maybe I'm wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I do have this feeling that we've kind of started getting subpar, or I'm not going to say subpar, but not optimal VCs on really strong units. This happened for Physalis. I mean, I think so. I think it is, because this happened for Physalis, it's happening for Lasswell and Raegen, it's happened for a couple of more units. Mages usually always have really good cards, but otherwise, And it's interesting. I think it could be this thing where they want you to kind of pull for these less powerful units to get the amazing VCs. Whereas, obviously, a powerful unit is amazing in its own right, just like Lasswell. I mean, you don't even have to have a VC, and this unit is going to slap cheeks for everything out there. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. I feel like, again, nothing's going to be like Cloud or, in the beginning of the VCs where it was, oh my goodness, 100 base attack with 100% equipment on the relevant equipment for the future. I feel like it won't be. I haven't seen the JP Vision cards, actually. That's a good point. Maybe I should check out the JP Vision cards in the future.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, this was just a gut feeling that this is going to happen where, the OP unit doesn't come with its incredibly OP Vision card either, because you're going to want to expand your roster to get those OP Vision cards into your OP unit too, which again makes perfect sense. It would be weird if a unit came with, a full set of everything you need, right? Because a bit of this game is about collecting. So, it makes sense that you want to be collecting units for different purposes.
We're kind of finished with the units, but like because we're on vision cards, what's your favorite vision card so far? Like out of aesthetic, like just aesthetically.
I mean, come on, do you have to ask? It's obviously a Hunt for the Esper Terra's VC because it has the Narsh. I mean, it has the Final Fantasy VI intro on it. That shit gives me goosebumps every time I look at it. So it's like it's a nostalgia thing. Okay, I'm just sorry. Okay, yeah, you go. What's yours?
I like Gabron's a lot.
Why? It's just a bunch of judges. Oh shit! Yeah,
yes.
You liked Final Fantasy 12. I forgot. Sorry, I'm bad.
But like, I don't think in any other media, like the fact that it's like pixelated, cute versions of those 5 judges, I really like it. All the judges in one little picture. I thought that was really cute. But if I had to take my bias glasses off, I really enjoyed Axstars because I thought Axstars had a lot of value to, like, just the lore value as well as it's really cute.
I hear what you're saying. My second place would probably be either okay, Cotton is gonna hurt me for not saying this. I would say Locke because I think it's amazing. He's standing there with Rachel in the basement, but I also think Eldren's is amazingly cute, where he's training Freyevia and kind of correcting her saber, and I just think that is adorable. I just think it's adorable, and I like both Eldren and Freyevia as units. That's just cute.
Yeah, I also really love Furion and Aerith's Furion because it's like literally the beginning of the game where they lose.
That is true. It does look cool.
So I like that rendition. But Aerith is also just a reference to that famous CG, right? Where she's in front of the leaking pipes. I thought that was really fun.
Although I don't think they got it off. Like I don't think that was well done. It is a very nostalgic moment for me, but I think it's like I don't know why, but I think they were trying too much with this with lighting to kind of make it look like the Mako is really shining on her, because it just looks like oversaturated in some weird way. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, what I want to say really is that most VCs are actually really cool. Ibarra's is shit, but everyone else's is actually really cool. Like VCs are really good, except for fucking Team Lasswell VC. Like, holy shit, that is horrible. Well, actually, Rain and Fina's looks horrible as well.
I actually think that Phases is pretty bad too. So
Phases? I mean, it's... Yeah, okay, yeah, it's not amazing. It's a bit cool because it kind of has this diorama thing with the water and you see some fish and shit in it. But yeah, it's nothing special. Although I still want to say it's better than fucking all units standing on a podium, which Rain and Fina have, or I don't know why they're even like...
Soul one sucks too. I don't like Souls.
Souls? I mean, Souls is pretty decent. It's kind of like, isn't that him like standing under the portal and then there's this reflection?
Reflection of him? Yeah.
Yeah, but the reflection is actually his real self, his sage self, right? Before he became mad and in love with Rain. Or actually, maybe it's actually more Rain, that's in love with Saul.
So
right?
Yeah, that's the episode, guys.
That is the episode.
Vision cards.
I mean, obviously, when we were fucking talking about the aesthetics of vision cards, we have ran out of content. Oh shit! I just realized I've never seen Physalis Neo Vision's vision card, and it actually looks great. It's her and Fina eating. Wow, yeah, I haven't seen this. It's adorable.
Well, usually the first thing I do when a new NV unit comes out, like in JP, I always check their vision cards because that's like the most interesting part of the game now.
Yeah, I was saying this in another episode, but I think it's too difficult to see the vision cards in game. Like they should somehow be more visible.
Yeah, there's
'Cause-
such beautiful, collection of assets. I wonder why they don't show it.
I want to go on a tiny tangent before the episode is over, because this is a short episode anyway. Do you mind?
Go for it.
So one thing that I was thinking, we were discussing in the Discord. So again, hit up the Discord. Link is below the video or pod, just go ahead. But we were discussing, like, this game has surprisingly little collection mechanics in it. Or, sorry, collection rewards in it outside of gear for being a gacha, and for being a gacha that fucking power creeps once every week, right? You look at other games, like the more notorious, like waifu games, the one about boats, for instance. There's a lot of more mechanics for, just enjoying your favorite unit, right? So if your favorite unit is Firion, you could, for instance, put maybe his vision card permanently on your home screen. So that's the first thing you see, like the nice vision card animation. Maybe you have this nice high resolution picture of Firion that also is shown on your home screen as you enter the game, right?
Yeah.
But FFBE doesn't have that at all. So
yeah,
like a unit so for instance, Eldren, I really think a lot about Eldren is cool, his design and his VC and everything. And I'm coming to this point where I'm realizing, I'm never going to use Eldren again. I used him for one trial and that's it. I'm never using him again. And that's a shame. I would still like to be reminded that I have this cool unit in some way. And same with Starlight and Elena, actually. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts? Could they do something?
Yeah, I feel like they could add a gallery mode. It'll be a big increase in quality of life, just because we have these, like, I saw that I have like 1,100 units in my inbox. A lot of those are 7 stars or 5 stars and NVs now, but like, because we have this good collection of gear and vision cards and stuff, it'll be really cool to have just a gallery view, just to show off, hey, look at all the stuff that I collected over the last years playing this game. It'll be really cool. It'll be a vanity thing for sure. They won't add much depth and mechanic to the game, but the fact that it exists, I think it'll be amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, also kind of, because, okay, here's another point on it. So because of the bonus system and because it works as it works, you're like, I mean, obviously I'm not bringing my Eldren to this raid. I'm not bringing my Eldren to any raid, right? Which is also a shame, because that type of content, the repetitive, easy content, would be an excellent opportunity for me to use some of my favorite units that I don't get the opportunity to use often otherwise, Mm-hmm. But we don't have that. The bonus system ruined that. Before it was more like that. I had my favorite party with my favorite units, and I would just load those for story clears and shit like that, and I can do it for story clears still. But outside of story clears, that's it.
And that's, I think, the trapping of this game, is that they need you to pull on new banners every week. That's the only reason the bonus system exists. But
no, I know, but it's overdone. That's my point. It's overdone.
Yeah.
It should be that the bonus caps at like 300% or some shit. And then, like, of course, if you're using 75% units, then you're gonna have a hard time getting 300%. But if you're using bigger units, then you get it, and then you can still put in some of your favorite units in there to kind of keep this flair alive. If you like, now I have to put fucking Ifrit Rain in my party. Ifrit Rain? Are you fucking kidding me? So I would like, if Gumi employees or Alum employees happen to listen to this, let's stop kidding ourselves. Nobody listens to this, but if they are, think about it a bit. I would like a way to just be proud of all the units I've pulled, of all the units I've spent money on, or spent resources on, right? I would like to somehow be able to visualize them, to be reminded that they are there, to have opportunity to use them outside of fucking arena.
It's really true for power crept units that are favorites. Like, one of my favorite units is definitely like Furion. Obviously, everyone knows it. But
Right.
But Furion has been power crept incredibly hard many times, and it's nigh impossible to use him now. So, like, good luck me ever bringing him in anything else other than for like story. So it'll be really nice just to use him at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, like, imagine just having lighter content that's still, where you can just at least bring your unit, and where bonus doesn't fuck you, obviously, right? Because you still, like, I think every event except for story events have bonus nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically.
I mean, MKs and raids, and those are literally the only two. We do get the elemental wave battles and shit, but those also have bonus. So it's really like counterproductive to you bringing your favorite units and being proud of like, oh my god, I want to bring my favorite units. So what I do instead is I just re-clear trials, but and I mean that works, but sometimes it's just impossible, like with the Demon Chimera.
Unless your name is Sinzar, re-clearing the same trial 50 times isn't really fun. So
well, I mean 50 times, but it is fun a couple of times. I often do that. I often do when a new trial comes out. I do play it like 1 or 2 times because it's easy. You just save your party. Just switching out the DPS is usually a simple thing if it's the DPS you want to swap in. Mm-hmm. But anyway, please, Gumi, give us more ways, or Gumi, Alim, whoever, give us more ways to be proud of our units somehow, you know? Like proud that I have an Eldren, even though I'll probably really never use him again. Maybe for Asura, I have this Asura plan with Eldren, but let's see.
Well, I think that's all the content we have. We've really stretched ourselves right now.
Yeah, I mean, we ran out of content 20 minutes ago, so yeah. But I do, like, if anyone's still stuck with us, still listening, I do want to thank you for listening this far. You are my favorite person in the world.
I am so sorry that you had to listen to this far. So,
I mean, it was a pretty nice episode. Listen, it was cozy with just me and Shadow. I imagine us holding hands.
Cue the Chocobo music before he talks anything else.